JackFrags. Been a huge fan of JackFrags for years. Um, Loved his videos. Been watching him all the way from like the Battlefield 4 days, and watched a whole bunch of his content. He put out a video not too long ago, 4 days ago, coming out with the most anticipated games of 2026. There's a bunch of them. I can name a couple right off my head that I'm anticipated for. Obviously the Wolverine game. I think the Wolverine game is going to be fantastic. You got Fable coming out, Gears of War E-Day. Those are just three right off the top of my head that I'm excited for. But yeah, we're gonna give JackFrags video a watch, and we're gonna see what some of the most anticipated games are.
These are my most anticipated games of 2026. We're going to start with the obvious ones, then I'll show you some others that I think could be pretty cool. Grand Theft Auto 6, November, apparently. The expectation for this game is through the roof. Based on the trailer so far, it looks to be a highly detailed and simulated open world to play.
Okay, unpopular opinion, getting ahead of myself here. I know most people in the comments and, you know, even on stream here are gonna probably come at me for this. Never really been a huge GTA fan. I played second one, the third one, Vice City. I remember the Ballad of Gay Tony. I know that was kind of like a DLC. Played the fifth one. I even played the fifth one online for like the first couple months when it came out, but not really a huge GTA fan. I understand the appeal to it, and you know, I understand why a lot of people enjoy them. I don't know, man, just not my type of game.
As expected, but perhaps with a more serious tone than usual. Can it live up to the hype? We'll find out. I'll be playing it for hours either way. Resident.
So from what I was hearing about GTA, what are we on? GTA 6 is they're releasing GTA 6 basically kind of in the state it is now for the current consoles and PC. But a little while down the line, when the next gen consoles are released, that they're going to be basically remaking GTA 6, putting AI into it to where NPCs, you know, remember every interaction they've had with you, what you've done to them, how you looked, if you hurt them, didn't hurt them, you know, whatever. So it's just a rumor that I've been hearing about GTA 6. Resident Evil's never really been
Evil 9. I played this at Gamescom last year and was just blown away. The demo was about 12 minutes long, but I enjoyed every single second of it. Amazing graphics. I
understand why people love this game.
I was locked in while I was being stalked around a tight interior space by a disgusting monster that gave me Alien Isolation vibes. We also saw an outdoor city environment in a new trailer too, which is pretty exciting for Resident Evil. Of course, you can play it in third person as well, much like the original games.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It could be more of a survival game this time too. Leon's back, always a bonus. We're going to have a blast with this one. 007 First Light, GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64 took up many hours of my childhood at my dad's house on the weekends. 4-player split screen.
Wait, they're remaking it?
And the neighbors. Bond games have a very special place in my heart. So the prospect
or is this
of
a new
James Bond game is incredibly exciting. It's been 13 years since the last game to
so it's a new one.
Legends in 2012. Whilst I didn't get to play it at Gamescom last year, I did see a live demo of it there on PlayStation 5, and to be honest, it looks exactly like what I expected, with it being developed by IO Interactive. Hitman mixed with Uncharted, throw in some spy gadgets, and you've got the formula. I like that it's based off a younger James Bond 2 in its own universe, and it appears that they're taking more cues from the books, which is cool. If the story is compelling, they could be on to the start of an amazing trilogy of games here. Wolverine, one of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe.
I'm definitely waiting for this game. This is supposed to be coming out this year. I'm pretty sure it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Universe, mostly because of the original X-Men cartoon in the 90s that I was glued to on a Saturday morning. Insomniac are developing this one. Of course, they did a fantastic job with Spider-Man and its sequel. Fun gameplay in a dense environment and a story that got me right in the feels on a few occasions. I think many people were concerned though with Wolverine that they would softball it, but based on the first couple of trailers that do have some gameplay in them, it looks incredibly brutal and action-packed. The tone seems bang on, and they've already revealed a couple of villains you'll be up against. I'm expecting big things from this one and really looking forward to it.
I think the Wolverine game is going to go harder than both the Spider-Man games combined. Wolverine from the comics in the 90s, the X-Men, all the X-Men stuff in the early 2000s. Even recently, as recent as, what is that, the Deadpool Wolverine movie? Wolverine's been all about action and fighting his temper and his rage. And if this story is anything that I think it's going to be like, this is going to be a hard-hitting game. I'm going to love every moment of it.
Star Wars Galactic Racer. This is a new racing game set in the Star Wars universe.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't really care
Criterion
much
developers
about this one.
who worked on Need for Speed and Burnout. Dang Farrick, sign me up. Sorry, that was really nerdy. Genuinely though, this could be fun as hell. Single player and online multiplayer. I'm not expecting simulation type gameplay, instead more fun arcadey goodness that these guys are known for. We saw several types of ships and vehicles in the trailer already, and Suburba, so perhaps pod racing will be in here. Please do it. Episode 1 pod
I'm a
racer,
huge Star Wars fan.
Love. 12 years old, ragging around the Bunter Classic from the movie as Anakin Skywalker. I was in heaven. So if Galactic Racer could give me back just a smidge of those.
See, I'm not really too interested in this racing one though. Like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I still play Knights of the Old Republic. I'm hoping the freaking KOTOR remake is coming out soon. Like, that shit's been in development hell for fucking forever. And then what was it? The Game Awards, they showed off Fate of the Old Republic. Fucking amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on that. I'm still waiting for anything about Star Wars Eclipse. Like, Star Wars, it's just... I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. Always have been. But just like a racing game like this? I don't know, man. Maybe there's some fans out there about it who will enjoy it.
Those feelings.
I just don't see it really being good
Gears
game.
of War E-Day. If you were lucky enough to be gaming when the Xbox 360 was the hottest console.
Oh, man. Alright, a little bit of backstory about myself, guys. I started gaming on the Xbox in the 360 era. I had the original PlayStation before that and the PlayStation 2. And then I went over to 360. Everybody, I mean, we're talking early 2000s, man. God. I was either right at the end of middle school or beginning of high school around there. I think I was in middle school when the first Gears of War came out. But everybody was all about Halo, and, you know, they were running around on Halo. They were playing the multiplayer. They were doing all this crazy shit on Halo. And I remember I went to the store with my mother. I was fully intended on buying an Xbox 360 and buying Halo. And I went there and I saw the special edition 20 gigabyte Halo Xbox 360. I remember picking that up, and there was one copy of Halo left and one copy of Gears of War left. And I was told I could only choose one. And looking at the different like art styles on the cases, it's just something about Gears of War grabbed my attention. And I've played every single Gears of War game. Every single one. Even the last one that came out, what was that, Gears 5? I mean, Gears 5 kind of sucked. I didn't think it was as bad as everybody said, but it wasn't as good as the other ones. But I played every single Gears of War game. Gears of War E-Day, will be the game where I will call off work the day it comes out. I will be right there at midnight when the game launches. I will have my streams ready to go. I will have everything set up, and I will just keep clicking on that game until it lets me in. I have a long, long treasured past with Gears of War, one of my absolute favorite franchises.
On the market, you'll know how exciting Gears of War was when it came out.
Yes.
Many argued that these games changed the industry,
They
introducing
did.
gritty
They
cover-based
did.
shooters to the masses, smashing into a wall after a sprint, popping up to let out a burst from your rifle, or blind firing felt incredible. Combine that with melee, and
Yes.
lots of the red stuff made for some very satisfying combat.
Yes.
The multiplayer was great too and worked amazingly well in LAN environments for fun and more serious tournaments too. The new game, E-Day, is actually a prequel set 14 years before the first game,
I can't
showcasing
fucking
the events
wait.
of E-Day or Emergence Day when the Locust War began. Marcus and Dom will take center stage. The graphics will no doubt be incredible, and I hope that they lean into the horror and emotion here. Gears 4 and 5 were a bit disappointing, so I'd love to see the franchise make...
See, I don't agree with that. Okay? Sorry, Jack, but I don't agree with you there. Gears 5 was a little disappointing, but I also thought Gears 4 was actually kind of decent. Not as good as the first 3, obviously. Judgment was... I think Judgment, for me, was kind of on the same par as Gears 4. Like, you had 1, 2, and 3 up here. Then you had Judgment and Gears 4 here. And then you had, like, Gears 5 down here. But I still think Gears 5 could have been worse. Like, I don't know, man. I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't like the open world aspect. Like, there was things about the game I didn't like. But the storyline and stuff like that, like, I actually enjoyed it.
A strong return with this one. Phantom Blade Zero. I have actually played this one
What is
at
this
an
one?
Nvidia event last year, and I think it's going to be wildly successful. People will look at it and say it's another Souls-like, but to me, it played more like an old school hack and slash, maybe more comparable to Ninja Gaiden or Wukong, I would say. The graphics and animations
Wukong, I enjoyed
were
Wukong.
very smooth, and the combat was incredibly fun. Timing dodges, parries, you know the score. Many unique fighting options here. You have 2 blades, which are your main weapons, and 2 phantom weapons, so to speak. I only got to jump on this for about 25 minutes, but I enjoyed it immensely. The bit
I
that
might give
played
this
was
one a
kind of
try.
semi-open world too, with a bit of exploration. It's cool. Definitely one to keep an eye on if you're interested in these type of games. Toxic Commando. This is a new co-op FPS zombie game from Saber Interactive. Think Left 4 Dead with huge undead swarms and big maps. I posted a video on it recently.
Zombies is kind of
an early build, and I reckon it will be a bit of a sleeper hit. You go through levels, completing main objectives, optional objectives, fighting special infected, mini bosses, and collecting resources for upgrades on your skill tree. The twist though is that the maps are large, and you've got the addition of vehicles, crazy zombie hordes, and mud. Your vehicle can actually get stuck in mud, and you'll have to winch sometimes to get out of a sticky
that's pretty
situation.
cool.
It will need fuel and repairs too. So it's kind of a mix of the best parts of Left 4 Dead, Space Marine, World War Z, and SnowRunner. And while I don't think it's going to be groundbreaking or win any awards, they are pricing it at $40, and I think with friends, it could be very fun to play through, and also more playtime if they keep adding additional levels and content in the live service throughout the year. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I don't know why, but for some reason...
Are they still making
Rocksteady
Lego games?
Studios just stopped making Batman Arkham games. Asylum, City, and Night was an amazing trilogy with fun gameplay and a story that dug deep into the world of Batman. And I felt that there was still so much more that they could have done with that franchise. There are rumors and a couple of leaks that a new next-gen Batman game from that studio is in development, which is good to hear. But in the meantime, we have this one to look forward to, and it could scratch that itch. This is made by TT Games, who also created the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, which was brilliant. So I'm expecting big things here. Lego games
I never
are
really
always
played
good,
any of
pure
the
fun,
Lego games.
but I think this one has got serious potential to be more than just that. And based on the trailers and the info on
But
their
a new
website,
Batman game would
I'm
actually be
excited for
pretty
it.
cool.
And they're saying that they've created an open and immersive Gotham City where you can grapple, glide, or drive through the open world with agility and speed while discovering crimes, challenges, rewards, secrets, and iconic landmarks such as Arkham Asylum, Ace Chemicals, and Wayne Tower. We've also seen Bane, Penguin, and the Joker 2. I'm 100% in for this, and I'm pretty confident that this game will be a blast and a massive success. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake. This one isn't officially announced, and I'm going out on a limb here, but based on recent domain registrations and insider information, it would appear that the release of a Black Flag Remake is imminent. This
would be fucking huge for the Assassin's Creed franchise if they do a Black Flag remake. If they leave basically like the core gameplay alone and they just, you know, update the visuals, update the controls, but leave pretty much everything alone. I've spent countless hours just sailing around the open seas of Black Flag and just destroying ships. Like, that was my favorite part about Odyssey. Like, I kind of enjoyed the newer Assassin's Creed. I'm in the middle of a Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. I haven't played Mirage or Shadows yet. But with Odyssey and Valhalla, those are two of the things I love doing the most. Is just sailing around the open waters. And I know you really can't do much like ship-to-ship combat. Actually, I don't think you really can do any ship-to-ship combat in those like you could in Black Flag. But just sailing around to different parts, and especially with Odyssey when you got to sail to the different islands and you could use like your archers to attack other ships in Odyssey. One of my absolute favorite things to do in that game.
excites me. The rumors are that it's running on the latest Anvil Engine 2, so it has the potential to look incredible. And for many people,
oh, it's gonna look fucking
Black Flag
amazing.
Was the last good Assassin's Creed game. To start with, pirates are just cool, and who would have thought that that setting would work for an Assassin's Creed game? But
the last good Assassin's Creed game, no. Like I said, I know I have an unpopular opinion. Origins sucked. Just fucking sucked. I hated it. Odyssey, like, I really enjoyed Odyssey. I thought it was a good game. But then again, I'm a huge history nerd, and especially ancient with Greeks and Romans and stuff. Like, I love that type of history. So to me, Odyssey was just amazing. Valhalla with the Vikings, I think, is a great game also. But the last truly, truly amazing Assassin's Creed game, I would have to give to Black Flag.
it did. A nice mix of the old stealthier combat with a bit of new thrown in, sailing on the open seas with the shanties going, naval combat, a huge and beautiful world to explore. This game had an incredible sense of adventure, and
Yes,
I would
yes,
love to
it did.
return to it. I know that retreading old ground isn't to everyone's taste, and I do hope that they can get the Assassin's Creed franchise back on track with their new games too. But if this is a modernized from the ground up version of Black Flag, I'll be playing it for many, many hours.
Oh, absolutely. Thousands of hours.
Another remake? Seriously? I'm going to be honest. Outside of Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, this was the thing at the last Game Awards in December that I cared about the most.
Yes.
It looks absolutely gorgeous, visuals and animation-wise. I was 10 years old when I played the original Tomb Raider. Perhaps a bit too young, some might say.
So, Jack,
but
we're about
I
the
was
same
hooked
age.
on the platforming and puzzles, and for me, it was one of the first proper 3D platform action games. Flipping around everywhere, having to actually look at the environment and figure out where you needed to go, fighting velociraptors and a T-Rex with akimbo pistols.
Yep.
Come on. It made you feel smart too if you figured out a difficult puzzle without looking at the Prima strategy guidebook. The doppelganger puzzle springs to mind. The Steam store page is telling me that the remake, officially titled Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, has jaw-dropping visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5, modern gameplay, and new surprises that honor the spirit of the original. It all sounds and looks very promising, and I can't wait to jump into this one.
It's going to be an amazing
The Expanse: Osiris Reborn, a third-person action RPG set in the Expanse universe. You're no hero, just a merc caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to hold your crew together and keep the ship up and running. Your choices will shape your story. That's their synopsis for the game. I haven't read the books, but I watched all of the TV episodes and I fell in love with it. Yes, it's sci-fi, but almost everything in there feels grounded in some way with science and engineering, making it perhaps more plausible. The way that the ships work, the way that recall works, the railguns, weapons in space, gravity, mag boots. Yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief for certain elements of the plot, but it's so easy to get lost in its gritty setting. And now, this atmosphere, with this type of game and gameplay, an action RPG, that could be incredible if they pull it off. And maybe some kind of ship managing system in there too. I'm not sure. I am 50-50 on if this will release in 2026, but I sure hope it will. And if done well, it could be a big hit for sci-fi game fans and maybe even make that wait for the new Mass Effect game feel much shorter. Mouse PI for hire.
Hold on, what was that game called? The Expanse: Osiris Reborn. I gotta take note of that. Because that actually...
As I'm aware, in the first-person shooter genre, there is no other game that looks like this. Black and white rubber hose visuals, drawn by hand, frame by frame. Obviously, it's heavily inspired by Disney's Steamboat Willie cartoon in video game form.
I'm not interested in this.
1930s cartoon art style, Mickey Mouse, Betty Boop, that kind of thing. With this gorgeous mix of 3D and 2D. It's unapologetically a boomer shooter too. It has that tag on the Steam page. Throw on top some humor, a noir detective story, setting, missions, a unique jazz soundtrack, and you're standing out from the crowd. I've not played it myself, I've only read previews and seen the trailers, but from what people are saying, the combat is fun. There's a variety of interesting weapons, power-ups, and you can complete objectives in many different ways. There are also unlockable movement abilities like wall running, grapple hooks, and Metroidvania-inspired level traversal. I'm not expecting this to be a massive game that lasts 40 hours or so, but if it's
not my type of game.
FPS single-player experience with these graphics, I'm sure that it's going to stick with me for a long time. Halo Campaign Evolved. This will be the last time I mention a remake, I promise. I've played an early build of this on the Series X, and I think that they're doing a good job with it on first impressions. This is a Unreal Engine 5 remake of the original Halo game, releasing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. It looks gorgeous in 4K, and they're adding online 4-player co-op with crossplay, 2-player local split screen on console. Skulls are being added to the game too. I don't think the original Halo had any skulls, but they're basically modifiers for the campaign. And they've done enhanced audio, cinematics with re-recorded dialogue from many of the original cast. A couple bits of the gameplay were updated a bit, like adding sprint, which will be divisive, but you can turn that off if you want to. I can't wait to jump back into this. The latest rumor too is that Xbox are remaking Halo 2 and 3 as well. No confirmation of that yet, but I'm sure that would go down well, especially if the multiplayer suites are included.
So we're getting all these Halo remakes. We got a Gears of War, the original game remake. Can we get a 2 and 3 remake for Gears of War next? Once Coalition comes out with Gears of War E-Day releasing this year, can we get, Gears 2 and Gears 3 remade?
Honorable mentions I wanted to put here too. Pragmata. Played this at Gamescom and really enjoyed my time with it. I think the demo is on Steam now, actually, if you want to check it out. Capcom are making this in an interesting sci-fi setting. You almost play as 2 characters at once. This hench dude in an Iron Man type suit who does the movement and the blasting, while the android girl on the back slows down time and can do puzzles and hack enemies mid-fight. Kind of like an action puzzle game, I would say. It was interesting to play for sure and fun to fight the bosses. Could be quite an emotional story too. Crimson Desert, this looks like a very ambitious RPG.
I'm looking forward to this,
cinematics, combat, could be one to keep an eye on.
Crimson Desert, from my understanding, is a single-player game of, what was it, Black Desert or something like that? I'm definitely looking forward to this one too. This seems very interesting. It kind of seems like another Kingdom Come type game. I think this one's actually going to be pretty
Saros,
good.
this is from Housemark, who made Returnal. Basically, third-person bullet hell shooter. The next iteration of what they did with Returnal, I suppose. It looks fun and releasing in April if it sticks to the schedule. Very dark and atmospheric. Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, another Marvel game.
This
time
one
with a
looks
World War
good.
II setting featuring Captain America and Black Panther as playable characters. Super serious tone in the trailers too, which I was into. Not much known about the gameplay yet, but from what I could find online, it's going to be action adventure, so perhaps expect Uncharted style gameplay. It might release in the holiday season this year, but will probably be delayed into 2027.
This is another one I'm looking forward to.
And finally, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Not confirmed, but the rumors say that Infinity Ward are bringing Modern Warfare back at the end of the year. It could be like a reboot of the franchise, and I'm interested to see if
another
they can
reboot of the franchise.
How will they innovate, and what type of game will it end up being? I am working on a full video on this too, where we'll discuss it further. Should be coming soon. But this year could be a make or break moment.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that from
that's all I've got for you
JackFrags.
today. It's shaping up to be an action-packed year for games 2026. Make some time if you can. Of course, I'm sure that there will be many surprises and sudden releases along the way too. What would be your most anticipated games for this year though? Let me know your top 3 in the comments below, please. Thanks.
I'm surprised he didn't mention Fable. I mean, I know this is his list for games, but I'm still surprised that he didn't mention Fable. Fable's a huge franchise, and I might actually have to go back and play some of the older games for Fable. But Fable it's still widely played that I know about, and dude, I loved Fable with the old British humor. I'm hoping they kind of carry it over into the new Fable. I know, Playhouse Games, the creators of Forza, are making it. But as long as they keep true to like the franchise core, like the British humor and kind of how it works, I think Fable will be fantastic. Jack mentioned a couple games that I'm not really interested in, but again, it's his list. Maybe I'll make a list of games coming out in 2026 that I'm interested in seeing.